Hello children, welcome to today's session. So in your previous classes we have learnt many important chapters like life processes, which is very important, control coordination, and though rest of them are not so important, but they have their own identity. Like coming to life processes and heredity, and today's chapter, that is reproduction, these are somewhat here the concepts are interlinked, so you should be very careful with your previous chapters. Some of the topics will be repeated in this chapter too, so if you are thorough with that, you'll be understanding this chapter. So coming to today's concept, that is reproduction. So how do organisms reproduce? So in today's class you'll be having a brief introduction on this chapter. Listen carefully, this is very important chapter. So try to understand the concepts, open your running notes and make a list of important points. So reproduction, part 1. So before starting this chapter, so I've told you, like in the previous chapters we have studied life processes which help an organism, either it can be plant or animal, to keep alive. So now all living things or all living organisms grow old with time and ultimately die. So in fact, every living organism remain alive on this earth for a limited period of time and then die. So as you all know, so no living organism on this earth is permanent. So someday or the other they need to die. So new organisms have to be produced in place of those who die, and the production of new organisms from the existing organisms of the same species is called as reproduction. So I'll be giving you many definitions. For time being, I gave only one definition on the slide. If you have many definitions, you can take one of the simplest definitions, you can follow that. So the first definition is the production of new organisms from the existing organism of the same species is known as reproduction. So in simple words, you can also say reproduction is the creation of new living things, that is from the existing living things. Okay, it is the creation of new living things from the existing living things. And one more important characteristic of living organism is to reproduce more members of their own species. So it is not just coming to humans, it is not just one offspring is produced. So they have the capability of reproducing more number of species of their own kind. So reproduction is essential for the survival of species on this earth. Okay. So living organisms produce more organisms of their kind to maintain the life of their species on this earth. So this is like a brief introduction, and you have like I'll be giving you some examples. So the process of reproduction ensures the continuity of life on earth. So for example, human beings reproduce by giving birth to babies, either it can be sons or daughters. So these babies grow and ultimately become adults. So when the old parents die, their sons and daughters keep living on this earth. So these sons and daughters also reproduce by giving birth to more babies, and this process goes on. Yes or no? So your grandparents give birth to your parents, and your parents give birth to you, and you will give. So this process goes on. So here, as they become older, so once in a while a person or a living organism, so after reaching a certain level of stage, they need to pass away. So this is happening and this cycle goes on. So that reproduction by human beings ensures that the human species will continue to exist on this earth for all the time to come. Okay, so until the time comes, they live on this earth, and someday or the other they need to pass out. So similarly, cats reproduce by giving birth to kittens so that their species may live forever, and dogs reproduce by giving birth to puppies so that the species may continue to live on this earth. Most of the plants reproduce by producing seeds to grow more plants so that their species may continue to live on this earth. So this is the basis. Okay, so reproduction is the main process which is required to maintain the life on the earth. So it is clear from the above discussion that for a species of a plant or an animal to continue living on the earth, it must reproduce itself. So this concept reproduction, I think I told you in your in your life process. I just gave you a hint. Okay, so the same question I'll be raising. So is reproduction necessary? Okay, so I'll be asking the same question in the class. Please tell me whether reproduction is necessary. If so, why? Okay. So reproduction gives rise to more organisms with the same basic characteristics as their parents. So in the last class, I told you about heredity also, like how we get the same characteristics as our parents. So even those concepts will be discussed in today's class. Okay, I'll be refreshing your minds. So for example, human beings always produce human babies, cats always produce kittens, and sunflower seeds always produce sunflower plants. And if, however, some species of the living organisms cannot produce or reproduce due to certain reasons, then the organisms of these species will gradually die out and disappear from this earth one day. So you might be knowing some of, let's take an example of human being itself. So some parents are usually infertile, they don't have children. Usually they go for adoption and all. Right? So this is due to certain reasons, living organisms, living organisms, they couldn't give birth to their species. So what happens is gradually if coming to human beings, their family, okay, they ends up with that generation. Okay, same thing happens with the other species also. Like if they can't reproduce due to certain reasons, then the organisms of that species will gradually die out and disappear from this earth one day. So in this chapter, we'll be discussing the various methods of reproduction both in plants and animals. So, and one more thing, please note down this. The existing organisms or organisms are called parents. I was speaking about existing organisms, right? So existing organisms are called as parents, and new organisms produced by them are called offspring. You all are familiar with these terms. So for example, our father and mother are parents, and their children are the offspring. The parent or the parents of organisms can be animals as well as plants. Okay, it is the same in case of plants and animals also, because all of the living organisms have the capability to reproduce, and so the existing organism, we say either it can be plant or an animal, they are called as parents, and the offsprings produced by them are the children. So sometimes the word daughter or daughter cells are also used for the offsprings of an organism. So usually these daughter cells and all will be using in especially plants. Okay, so this is a brief introduction on this chapter. Why I gave this is to have a clear cut idea on this concept, that is reproduction. So this is not so tough, so listen carefully. So I'll be starting the chapter. So coming to, do organisms create carbon copies of themselves? So what is this carbon copy? So here carbon copy, it is nothing but DNA. Okay, so in your heredity chapter or in your life process chapters, I told you how human beings or how living organisms get DNA from their parents. Is it similar to them or is it a copy of them? Okay, so this I'll be repeating again, so listen carefully. So the DNA molecules in the chromosomes in the nucleus, you know that chromosomes are present in the nucleus and the DNA is the genetic matter present in the chromosomes, which is responsible for the transfer of characters from the parents to the offspring. So during reproduction, the reproductive cells produce two copies of DNA which separate into two cells. So like when we speak about humans, I told you like females have two types of reproductive cells, that is what is the X and X, they get separated, and in males it is separating into X and Y. Okay, so you'll be having like the offspring will be having, as you all know, half set of DNA from the mother and half set of DNA from the father. Okay, so the DNA copies will be similar but not identical to each other. Okay, but in case of DNA copying, okay, but in case of DNA copying, like especially in asexual reproduction, so when we talk about asexual reproduction, the DNA copies will be similar. But in case of sexual reproduction, the DNA copies will be, they will be similar, but they will not be identical to each other. So this will be differing from species, from baby to baby, because they'll be attaining both the characters like from the father and from the mother. So the new individuals have slight variations from their parents. So all these concepts were discussed in your previous classes. So you all know what is a variation. So why do you get variation? So everything is discussed there. So I don't think that I need to memorize the same concepts again, right? So this is the basis for variations and evolution of new species. So this is a fresh chapter, like when I spoke about variation and evolution, like in your last class itself I completed that what is that evolution concept. Okay, so you might be very clear with those concepts. So this is how, like do they create carbon copies of themselves, right? So this is how an organism gets a DNA copy which is similar but not identical. Okay, they look similar but the base pairing, okay, I told you nucleotides will be present in the DNA, so the pairing will not be similar. It like similar in the sense they will not be identical for with each other. Okay, so this is about the copying of DNA. Coming to the importance of variation. So the importance of variation, especially in reproduction. Okay, the DNA copying during reproduction is very important for maintaining the body designs of different organisms to survive in the existing environment. So if the DNA, what happens if the DNA copying is not done properly? If the DNA copying is not done properly, the body designs will be altered and there might be a risk of it cannot survive. Usually the organism cannot survive if its body design is changed. So all these concepts like DNA copying, what is the mechanism involved in that, and what is the importance of variation, all these concepts were discussed in your previous classes. Please memorize all those concepts. If you are not clear with the concepts, please go through your textbook or please go through your previous classes so that you'll be very clear with these concepts, right? So coming to this point again, DNA copying during reproduction is important for maintaining the body design. So, but the environment is constantly changing due to the changes in temperature, climate, water levels, etc. So, with the change in the environmental conditions, even the organism makes some variations within itself to adjust themselves to the changing environment, so that if what happens if it cannot adjust itself to the changing environment, so the species might become extinct. So if the species is not bringing about certain variations in itself, what happens, it cannot adjust in that particular environment and then it becomes exist. There might be a chance that it becomes extinct. So in order to avoid that, Usually organisms make certain variations in order to adapt themselves to the changing environment. So, if there are variations in some individuals of a species, they may be able to survive the changes in the environment. So, the variations in species is necessary for the survival of different species and for the evolution of new species. So, hope you understood this. Okay, so what happens if it is making certain changes? A new organism is obviously developed. Okay, so that is the basis of evolution. So variation is the basis of evolution. So please remember this point. So coming to this extra point, that is lifespan. Actually, you don't have this, but still, just to have like some brief picture in your mind, I'm giving you this. So lifespan. What is this lifespan? I was speaking about lifespan. So like usually organisms have certain lifespan and they usually die after that lifespan. So what is this lifespan? So the period from the birth to the natural death of an organism is called its lifespan. Okay, like it is the period between the birth and death. Okay, it is called as lifespan. So the lifespan of an organism may be few minutes to several thousands of years. So here you can see the picture, like you can see mayfly, it is having 1 day, butterfly 1 to 2 weeks, fruit fly 1 month, rice plant 4 months, wheat you have 4 months, rose 10 years, crow 15 years, banana 25 years, cow 25 years, dog 25 years, and crocodile 60 years, horse 50 years, elephant like 60 to 75 years, parrot 160 years, tortoise 160 to 150 years, and you have banyan tree around, you have thousands of years it can live. So this is how usually the lifespan of certain organisms vary. So here you have again the same thing. You can see this tabular column has certain organisms and their lifespans. Okay, fruit fly 1 day, butterfly 1 to 2 weeks, same thing. Crow 15 years, dog 25 years, banana tree 25 years, and crocodile 60 years. So this is the lifespan of certain organisms. And coming to the phases of lifespan of an organism, so you have totally 4 phases which includes in an organism. The first phase is juvenile phase, reproductive phase, aging, and death. So juvenile phase is the initial phase, okay, the time of birth and all. Reproductive phase or maturity phase. So once the organism starts reproducing, that is the reproductive phase. And aging, obviously once the reproductive session is done, automatically some sort of age develops. Okay, so that is the aging and death. So these are the 4 phases involved in the lifespan of an organism. So this is the crucial part of your lesson, and the lesson begins from here. So you have the types of reproduction, and this types of reproduction, I'll give you a brief note on this for today. And in your next class, I'll be starting up with your very, very important concept, that is the sexual reproduction in plants and in certain animals. And so coming to reproduction, so you all know what is reproduction. And so here types of reproduction. So there are many ways, in many different ways in which new organisms are produced from parents. So some organisms like amoeba. So some organisms like amoeba just split into 2 parts to produce new amoeba. So some organisms like hydra and yeast grow out of the parent's body in the form of a bud. So you all know, you might have seen in your lower classes also. Okay, I'll give you a brief introduction. In the next classes, I'll be telling those things in detail. So some organisms like birds and snakes hatch out of the eggs laid by their parents. So whereas Some organisms like human babies, cubs, kittens, puppies are born from their mother. So this means that each species of organism reproduces in a different way. Okay, so every organism reproduces in a different way. Like some organisms might be similar, reproduction might be similar, in some organisms the reproduction is different. So all the different ways of reproduction can be divided into two main groups. So they are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So, so we can now say that the living organisms reproduce mainly by two methods, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So this means that new organisms, so new plants or new animals can be made either from the method of asexual reproduction or by the method of sexual reproduction. So in your next classes, we'll be discussing the meaning of asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So in order, for time being, I'll be giving you a brief note on this. Like in order to understand this, please keep in mind that certain organisms contain reproductive cells, which is also called as sex cells. Please underline this: reproductive cells or sex cells or gametes or germ cells. Okay, sex cells, gametes or germ cells are also called as reproductive cells. So some organisms contain these reproductive cells. So if an organism is having reproductive cell and it is like reproducing by the utilization of these reproductive cells, then the type of reproduction is called as sexual reproduction. And some organisms do not contain reproductive cells in their bodies, and those organisms reproduce by means of asexual reproduction. Okay, so you all know reproductive cells, that is you say like in case of humans you have sperms and eggs. Okay, so usually it is sexual reproduction, and in asexual reproduction it involves only one parent. Okay, it is having only one mother parent. So it is you have certain methods in asexual reproduction also. So I'll be discussing that methods in your next classes. So hope you are clear with the introductory part of your reproduction. So meet you in the next class. Please go through the previous concepts, so you'll be clear with the coming points. Okay, so this is for today's class. Thank you.